game 2, lower bracket final. EVOS versus Mineski. Mineski up 1-0. Manila Masters SEA qualifiers. MRP, Kefka here to bring you all the action. Mineski, just a little better execution, a little better movement in game 1. And we're going to try and step our game up as EVOS is switching over to Discord from Skype. Hopefully this works out better for us. Kefka, pretty similar bans, but the Lifestealer going to be removed by EVOS here as Mineski has first pick in this game too.
I'm not surprised Lifestealer got removed. And I also hope that Discord works a lot better, so I can hear at least something, hopefully. And hopefully the chat can also hear me. But
yeah, and you're nice and clear, so it looks like we've already upgraded a bit. But Mineski going to steal away Avil's Nyx Assassin from EVOS in game 1. You mentioned kind of the self-sustainability or the self-sufficiency of the Lifestealer, allowing them to lane aggressively as he kind of deals with almost all of the meta offlaners. So they take away a comfort pick from EVOS, knowing that the Lifestealer, they don't have that luxury anymore in the pool to have him solo safely.
I think they probably felt that Nyx was the scariest, I guess, probably out of Team EVOS, and probably think it's a pretty solid hero and decided to pick it up. I think it's probably the most solid offlaner. Like, if you're not looking for anything specific and you just want something solid, Nyx is one of the best. And but he kind of needs. I really prefer the hero when he's partnered with us with an invoker or something. That's when he really shines, because even if he's on a farm, he can find pickoffs and he really boosts your other hero's net worth more or less and shuts the opponent down. It's very nice in that. And I like the pick. Weaver Centaur follow-up. We lost the game. We saw Team EVOS open Nyx and Mineski went Lifestealer into Dazzle, which are great against Nyx, but Weaver Centaur are not great against Nyx. So kind of not as happy with the opening from Team EVOS as Mineski had last game, but it's still early, and you don't really necessarily have to counter what they first pick and stuff like that. You can do this stuff, and it's fine.
Yeah,
Disrupt or Nyx.
And
nice.
More than likely for EVOS, Weaver is going to be in the 4 position. That's often where they run him. So it's not as if they're revealing 2 cores here. Centaur just kind of a catch-all offlaner early on as well. Does have a good presence in lane. Hard to zone out with the return by supports at least. But Mineski gonna have 2 answers for this Weaver, whether or not he's in a support role, and a decent answer for the Centaur in the glimpse with the Disruptor. So actually gonna take 2 pages out of EVOS's book from game 1 with the Nyx and Disruptor. We'll see if they fare a little bit better than EVOS did in that game 1. Lina going to be removed from the pool for Mushi. Mushi, of course, not known necessarily for his invoker. So we'll see if they're able to pair up any sort of other ganking nature hero or anyone with global presence for this Nyx Assassin. Already a couple of difficult kills for the Nyx Assassin. Certainly Carapace is nice to have against the Shubuchi from the Weaver, but a Centaur going to be a very difficult kill. Invoker is going to be the ban though regardless from EVOS, as you mentioned. It just pairs up really nicely with that Nyx Assassin and kind of amplifies his impact by leaps and bounds. Yeah,
I think Invoker, for some reason, he seems to be extremely high value nowadays. Without I don't really know like the incentive for it. He just seems suddenly like, okay, this hero is amazing, and he's always been great, but now he's been becoming a bit more popular since DAC, I'd say, and during the end of DAC.
Do you feel like the Midas nerf hit him hard, or is he still kind of tier 1?
I feel like it should hit him, but I'm not sure if it actually has. It's like, I feel like it should be worse for him because he wants levels,
right?
But it might be like it doesn't matter much. Like he's gonna get his levels and he gets more goals. It's kind of whatever.
Yeah, pretty amazing to have a hero that can just right-click creeps and contribute 500 pure damage to a fight from anywhere. So definitely always kind of at high value for certain. And as you mentioned, Midas nerf is not ideal, but he's still a hero that can gain golden experience from across the map while he's doing so, without being in harm's way. So always going to be a strong hero, especially with either of something like a Nyx or a Centaur on your side. And anytime team fight heavy, metas come into play, Invoker is always going to be something on everyone's radar. Alchemist ban's an interesting one coming out from Mineski. They will take him out of the pool. I suppose they may have not had the burst to kill him off with the Chemical Rage, but
I honestly think it's because Team EVOS has the 2 best axe carry in the game. So we're like, maybe we should ban Alk. So I think that's like the main reason, honestly. Especially Weaver plus Alk is a disgusting combo and should not be allowed in Dota, but you know, that's I actually think it's quite.
So you think Weaver
nice.
Ags is better than Nyx Assassin Ags?
By a lot.
Come on.
Yes.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think Nyx Assassin Ags is that insane. I think it's quite balanced. Like it's good, but it's not anything close to broken. But Weaver Ags, with Alk it's broken, but otherwise it's like okay, you know, like because Alk is like, it's so stupid that you're like he's like a hero that sustains. He just stands there, and then if he's close to dying, you're finally gonna kill this guy that you worked so hard for in like time lapse, and then you lost the game.
Yeah,
I've seen insane comebacks with this combo. So
especially out of the support role as well. You know, Weaver, he's just gonna get that extra boost in HP and mana and stats. It's really helpful for certain. So good call on your part, and definitely on Mineski's part as well. 4 good Ags carriers, in fact, for EVOS at this point. So could have been really useful for them. Kunkka is something that Mineski actually runs quite often, and they've had quite a bit of success with. Was something Mushi played at a time, but definitely going to be more than likely in the hands of Adam in the roaming kind of nomadic role. He was, you know, the Sand King last game. KYXY kind of was the core, so to speak, quote unquote. But it definitely felt like Adam got a little bit more out of the game than did KYXY's Omni Knight.
The 3 and 4 roles nowadays are quite interchangeable, and you generally can't see a 4 having more fun than a 3 a lot of times. And I think Kunkka, I love this hero a lot, and I think I'm not sure if I would say it's underrated, but it has a lot of value in it. But I'm not sure how good it is. It might be a bit hard to play as well, and it's the only time I've seen it being picked before this is as a counter to Disruptor. I think it was OG who did it. I'm not sure if it was OG. It might have been against OG as well. But you see your teammate is getting a glimpse, you X him, and it's a great, you know, but now you had Disruptor in your team. So I'm not sure what is happening here. Maybe Kunkka plus Cop is some amazing combo as well that I never thought about.
That's true too. The first thing I looked at was, you know, the Cop able to blink in without much risk. The other thing is, at least against the defensive Stampede, you've got both potentially Glimpse and X, so can kind of pull heroes back into the fray who want to be out of it. You know, X not the most effective against Juggernaut, but the other 3 heroes definitely killable, at least using that. But as you mentioned, it's not an ease of execution draft by any stretch for Mineski. Terrorblade going to be the final ban coming out from EVOS.
And they were scary nowadays.
Yeah, not too much magic damage as well.
This hero I forgotten existed. I feel like
Luna. It's something, something they run for Raging Potato quite often that I mentioned last game, but not quite the lineup around Luna that you generally see. Really, no sustain aside from kind of the Coco Drum for Kunkka that may help, you know, Luna to survive a little bit longer, but she's not going to be able to just kind of hit towers that she does fairly well with this lineup behind her.
They don't have a like pushing 5-man lineup or anything like that, so feels a bit awkward, but it can definitely work. I think the hero is pretty solid and a bench last pick. So
mid Juggernaut, I think
is interesting. Yeah, I think mid Juggernaut carry bench. I would assume that's the case. That seems most logical, at least.
Right. Yeah, Weaver is definitely something that they run often in support role. Jugger, I guess, can survive versus the Queen of Pain lane, but definitely feels like a bit of a disadvantage for him, at least early on. But looks like Evo's going to go hard at them fairly early with the Bloodlust and with the Vengeful Spirit aura. You know, they have the Swarm to kind of keep the wave at bay. So looks like they want to maybe push into this Mineski team fairly early on.
Yeah, I like Team EVOS draft again. I think it just looks amazing on paper. You have like great push. You have good team fight. You have everything. You know, you don't need anything more. You have Jagger can push, take towers, Venge does the exact same thing, but they're also pretty good team fighters. You have Centaur, and you have a great roamer. I guess normally I'd say Ogre and Weaver as supports could be a bit awkward, but with a Venge carry, Ogre safe lane, there's no problem at all. Like it doesn't matter. So I like the draft a lot. Mineski is a bit cooler. You know, you have a Kanka, that's pretty cool. You have a Quop, you have a Luna, you know, but
style points from
it's
Mineski.
pretty scary. Yeah. It seems a bit harder to execute.
Definitely ease of execution again seems to be in the favor of EVOS. I have to agree with you on that front, but remains to be seen how they actually end up faring here. Definitely feels like they're very strong in lane, as well, as you mentioned. An issue that we touched upon in game 1 for the Nyx Assassin with the Dazzle Omni Knight combo was just that he wasn't really able to find a target to kill. And with, you know, a Weaver Ogre support duo, it seems like it may be a bit of a similar story, you know, with the roles reversed in this game too. So we'll see kind of how KYXY is able to get off to the mid game with his Nyx Assassin. In this one against, you know, Ogre, Centaur, as well as the Weaver, all 3 very difficult kills in, you know, positions that he would want to look to feast on the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, both teams smoked the ward up. Weaver did not manage to get one of his wards out, but on the other side, Mineski had to place quite a defensive ward, placing it very defensive. But Weaver is probably going to rotate between here a little bit, so you get some nice information. Probably going to avoid mid. But he can't really rotate from top to bottom easy. You need to TP for that, so it's a decent ward.
Where does Kanka find his opening, if at all, in this mid game? Is he, or in this early game, I should say? Is he just going to look to farm up and try and get his levels, or do you see him being able to have an impact in any of these lanes?
I'm pretty sure he's gonna be relatively static, and not probably just be safe lane. Maybe help out. You could dual off lane like a bit later, or you can dual off lane anytime. Like if you want to start, it's fine. If you want to do it later, that's fine. But I don't think he should run around and do stuff, because mid is you're probably not killing mid. Jagger is he just spins out, and unless you catch an insane timing where he's pushing the lane out and then you gank him, that could happen, but unlikely. So I think playing either safe lane or on the off lane or stacking and stuff like that. That's definitely relatively static. While Weaver has much more roam potential, even though both mid laners are hard to kill. Yeah, there is a small chance, but yeah.
Does have the boots first on Adam, so see if he gets to roaming around. But definitely feels like, as you mentioned, limited opportunity for him and for both teams in these lanes. These lanes pretty strong for both here, both sides. It definitely feels like, to some extent, the safe lane of Mineski can be vulnerable. So, see if Centaur has his comrades join up with him. Lysu, for now, formerly playing the Monkey King, is going to rotate down towards the bottom lane on his Weaver. To see if he can.
I wonder if he's gonna start jungle, actually, because if you go Swarm level 1, you actually clear a camp and you get level 2. It's pretty efficient, honestly. It's pretty good. Yeah, he's doing it. It's pretty interesting.
And you can swarm like 2 camps.
Yeah, but you don't really get more value from that, so this is fine. I think this is a very good play, actually.
Blightstone, mid lane, Rams. Gonna have a tough matchup against Mushi on one of his signature heroes, and Avil already playing pretty far forward in this bottom lane. Just at level 1, he does have the ability to do this blind torrent or free-handed torrent, at least. I'm gonna miss on the Centaur for now, and he'll feel pretty safe to continue forward in this lane. KYXY trading with the Ogre, 2 heroes that are very good at trading early on.
Yeah, pretty good. I think this is like nice. Ogre is very good at zoning a lot of offlaners, so you can do this. And I'm a bit surprised Weaver is... I would not have jungled more here. I would have run to lane at this point. So I'm a bit surprised by that.
Guess he just wants to find that level 2, just that
Yeah, I think he's just looking for level 2, and then he's rotating out. But I think he should have soaked it in lane, honestly.
Does get the Shikuchi.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It just looked a bit awkward to be forced to spend 40 seconds.
Partly RNG, right? I think if you get the Satyr camp, that you actually do hit level 2.
Yeah, that's true.
But the Alpha Wolf, unfortunately, just a bit short. And now he will join up in lane. There is a sentry down for the Radiant side over to the west here, but nothing really in the lane itself. As a Disruptor going to be zoned a little bit, looking maybe to just cover the rune, but it is an invisibility rune top lane. And both teams aware of that, as they both have vision of this rune spot on bottom lane with their wards.
winning the rune war here. Adam just stealing the boundary, getting the invis, and then going for his own boundary. So getting all 3 runes while Ogre just wastes time.
Mid lane, Mushi faring in a salve, so this ignite not going to do all that much, but he's kind of losing on the regen war with Rams at the moment, as healing ward just kind of pushes the Jugger over the edge, and for that reason Mushi, he's going to go hit up the shrine, and more than likely his counterpart.
Oh, someone's dying bottom. I'm not sure who.
As well, and yeah, Weaver is going to be the first one to drop. Raging Potato in trouble, Swarm is there, it's going to finish him off. The return kill is going to be found, as they did notice, you know, the Kunkka picks up the invisibility top lane. And speaking of the Kunkka, they're looking to go in on the Vengeful Spirit, but just a little bit too tanky, as the Venge had 4 stick charges as well. So it was a wise play from KYXY and Adam to back out. Now Torrent off cooldown again. Does Adam want to throw it out? We'll try and find the Venge. He connects. Barely.
Oh, no mana.
But yeah.
He needed 2 more mana.
We'll throw out the Impale just short. And they will be unable to find that kill.
Oh, this is good. Good rotation by Weaver. That's gonna definitely be a dead Excelsior.
Waisu already in this game. 1-1-1 on the Weaver.
Yeah, and there's another thing to mention. Mid lane is destroying Rams. Unless he feed now. Oh,
nice salve.
Wow, that was impressive. I actually thought he was gonna die for a second there.
Mushi returning to form here in the mid lane. Avil bot lane, double edge, gets off the disruptor kill, but does end up dying to the Luna thereafter. So not the biggest loss for Mineski overall. They're feeling pretty good about that set of circumstances. Mushi could be in trouble though. There's no stun actually on the Ogre just yet, and we'll just back out towards safety. So takes his solo kill. We'll be content with that. Haste Rune going to be picked up by the disruptor in the meantime. Bottom lane.
Yeah, it's gonna go for the boundary. Top lane action actually. Can he get out? No.
Body blocks coming
such
through.
a good hero.
Yeah.
The Swarm is insane. It's actually such a good spell. I feel like why aren't people picking this hero support anymore? What like?
Yeah, there was a Swarm nerf, but still feels very good for sure. But the spell itself was certainly quite a bit more OP just a patch or 2 ago. I guess it's been like 5 patches now, but
yeah, I mean the hero is great. And, but mid lane is Jugger is getting not only dying there, but he is getting dominating the Lost Hit War as well, struggling a lot.
And this is kind of why we see Mineski, maybe, you know, one of the only teams that does pick up this Queen of Pain. Mushi just looks really comfortable on it. Of course, you know, innately gonna have an advantage in this matchup, but definitely doing perhaps better than he should be. Top lane though, it will bring down the Kunkka, but KYXY finds a kill on the Venge of all heroes in this lane. Swarm and Ignite doing some work here, but KYXY pretty darn tanky versus just the right clicks of these two. They really need the Vengeful Spirit aura to be able to bring down KYXY, so once he goes down, it feels pretty safe.
It's pretty interesting mechanics with the Swarm versus Forma Shield, because the Swarm doesn't do any damage versus Forma Shield. You only lose the armor, so for example if Nyx runs away with 1 HP, the Swarm is not going to finish him off, so you have to play pretty accordingly. Also it doesn't cancel blink daggers then, so if you buy Forma Shield versus the Swarm, you can still blink.
How to win Dota 2. Yeah. Got him up on the high ground, and smoke in the hands of the Ogre. The Radiant Ward will scout him out as well, but still, this Kunkka, only level 2, doesn't even have a point in X, so very difficult for him to find any sort of initiation. Looks like he wants to soak a bit of experience mid lane. The Weaver will pick up the Bounty Rune, steal that away from KYXY. Meanwhile, bottom lane now, Mushi.
This could be a big kill. Centaur is a huge target right now. He's doing extremely well. And killing him would be really, really good.
4th overall in the net worth, just under the mid and safe laners of both sides. In fact, doing much better than his own
is this a
safe
Jugger
laner.
mid or a Weaver core? I'm not sure, looking at the network.
Looks pretty grim for the Juggernaut at this point. You mentioned not only losing in the CS war, but feeding over that first kill. And now,
oh, that's a nice
ward
scan.
on the
They know
cliff.
he's here.
Avil gonna
This
walk
seems
through.
way too deep though. Mushi is wasting a lot of time. He can't. He really wants this kill. He can't really run away without getting anything.
Stampede, glimpse back onto the Centaur. He's going to be under the tower though, and as you mentioned, Mushi Just unfruitful rotation for him. Meanwhile, TP out as well from the Disruptor. Nicely played after the Fire Blast. He's going to make it out, but it is some wasted time for Mushi. Juggernaut finds, a wave or two without that Queen of Pain in his face in the bottom lane. And, after the first little bit, just became a little bit more predictable as to where he was. Torrent doesn't really get anything for Kunkka, not even grabbing himself a couple of last hits there as a Torrent. Still level 1, doing a fairly low amount of damage. Mushi putting a few right clicks into the tower mid lane. But Stampede down, he feels pretty darn safe here. Iron Talon going to be picked up by the Centaur, as you mentioned, is level 7 here. So doing well. Farm though, not doing incredibly, but will be able to expedite that process with this Iron Talon pickup. 8-minute rune going to come up from Mushi here shortly. So just continuing to throw in some damage into this tower, feeling safe that he'll have some regen to fall back on.
Yeah, this is pretty good by Mushi. He wasted a lot of time rotating, and he's like, I probably should just pressure towers. I think his every rotation should try and result in tower damage, even if it doesn't get a kill.
Torrent and the spike care.
Mushi's
Impale
incoming
connects. They have the Sonic Wave. Mushi will get the Scream off, at least. And the Shadow Strike damage. There is a Magic Stick there, but Blink Forward will block off the path of retreat for the Vengeful Spirit. And they know the Ogre rotated down towards bottom lane relatively recently, so difficult to kind of defend their Vengeful Spirit. Nice rotation from Mushi this time around.
Is Weaver gonna solo kill Disruptor?
They have the ward there, so needs another Geminate. Won't get it off as the cooldown a little bit long. Level 1.
I think the Swarm might finish him off.
Stampede. They're gonna look for this. Geminate should kill him off. Oh, Salve. Again. Gonna be able to save. Oh, the X is a little bit too late from Adam. Torrent does not connect.
Oh, what a play. Oh, that's
just be able to...
Oh, yeah, you can do it. I forgot about that. You can spawn.
TP, Shikuchi. Now they find the Centaur in the meantime. So a nice solo kill coming out from the Weaver, but it opens up, his offlaner as he's a little bit deep behind enemy lines, and not even an eclipse used by Raging Potato. So KYXY's first rotation with the Vendetta going to bear fruit, and it's going to be able to transition into this tier 1 tower kill.
Yeah, it's very nice getting these towers. I think they want to take all the tier 1s relatively early. You have pretty good pushing. Oh, is this Satyr gonna
Purge creep?
Oh, is Senta gonna die from this?
Oh wow, the Ancients soak up 2 beams. Avil doesn't have a Stampede.
Where is EVOS?
Wow, nice cancel on the Stomp as well with the Loosen Beam. Avil looks like it felt like he could have just ran down the stairs there, but goes off to the right, looks to try and re-engage with the Hoof Stomp. I mean, Luna, obviously a faster hero, but I'm not sure that she gets that kill if he runs down the stairs either way.
Yeah, I think he might have thought that people were coming, because I was like, he's been being chased for like 15 seconds, and like someone should be coming more, and they could kill both. Maybe he was kind of hoping that he could spend, but was not happening.
Mid lane.
This is a hard kill.
It probably have to go for the Impale. Oh, he does use the spin though, and it will be able to TP out under it.
Yeah. If they had, I think Static Storm, he was going to get the Tome for Static Storm in a boogie, but didn't manage to time it. Jagger tipping out before that, so pretty good play by him, but also smart play from Mineski, but it didn't work. But just seeing that they do it correctly is a nice sign.
Good game sense coming out from the Juggernaut, but still very hard early game for him to kind of transition out of already towards the mid lane. You mentioned the importance of kind of taking map control away and taking these tier 1 towers early on. Mushi gonna rotate up top lane, and he's gonna be joined up by KYXY as well as Ninja Boogie. And Illogic, he's in a lot of trouble here. Jump forward, Scream, glimpse back as well. Impale will finish him off. One more right click. Mushi, killing spree for him. And already 50% HP down is this tower. He's going to be bloodlusted up. They don't really have a wave as well. Mushi does have a salve, so puts a few right clicks in. They're going to try take down the wave, but now TP's out. and in towards the shrine as mid lane with the healing ward deployed. EVOS going to try and pressure it, but wisely so, they're going to back out. Disruptor is going to be stunned up, trying to TP away, and the Weaver does find the kill. Level 7 on the Weaver, so has everything he
Weaver
needs.
He might end up being top net worth in his team soon. He's doing incredible while his team is doing not so good.
Mid lane.
He's gonna be dead, Adam. Or is he baiting?
Jump forward, and they don't have the healing ward or enough for the Omni Slash here. Sonic Wave will finish off the Jug. Nice patience from Mushi as well, just to see if he Omnis there, but he's able to kill him off. Has the regen rune, so really expends nothing but a cooldown there to find the Juggernaut. And Adam, yeah, just hanging around with the X instead of Xing him away earlier, just to kind of bait in for KYXY.
Very good that he ran back into the wave, because if he kept running to his tower, Nyx wouldn't have made it in time and he would have died, and then maybe Jagger could have even tipped it out at that point. But good communication. Maybe Nyx was screaming like, run this way and I'll save you, or maybe Adam just knew. So very solid plays, and ends up getting another Jagger kill. And Jagger is, I'm not sure how he's recovering. This is very similar to last game where Rams needs to recover somehow, but it didn't happen last game, and it doesn't look like it will happen this game either at this point.
Yeah, Mineski doing a very good job to take his comfort heroes away from him. You know, Juggernaut and Shadow Fiend, you know, heroes that definitely every mid laner plays, but not ones that are necessarily in the, you know, top tier arsenal of Rams. Definitely looking at his Invoker and his TA as his two best heroes. So those have been banned in both games. And now Mushi top lane. Goes out the Shadow Strike. Maybe just trying to back out the center to try and find this tower kill. It is in deny range right now, so needs to continue to apply pressure here in order to try and get this kill. Centaur maybe looking to deny here. Wrap around from AYXY. TP out though. And they will just concede that top lane tower. Mid lane Disruptor in a bit of trouble.
I think it's gonna be a swap to stun. Oh, that's a good... Oh, what a play from Disruptor.
Very nice Static Storm. It's going to do a lot of damage. Stampede will try and get them out. X is going to keep the Weaver back into the boat. They'll find a return kill. But they don't get much else, so the defensive Stampede allows them...
No Rams. No stuns. Cooldown on everything. I was impressed by Nina Boogie. As soon as he realized exactly what's gonna happen, and he got a two-man Static Storm, that was some quick reaction. I think that was pretty impressive. However, Mushi now is going into an Orchid, and I think one of the main problems top lane actually.
Nice Impale out of the Invis, and they will spare no expense for this Juggernaut kill. Again, keeping Rams down this entire series as far as the Juggernaut spills for the third time.
And the problem is they're not getting anything in return. You know, that's a free-man gank to a Juggernaut, but this tower bottom is not going down, for example. They could kill the Disruptor, but even then, that's not that good of a trade. This seems to be a pretty hard kill from the start.
He is gonna play a little ring around the rosy with them, but they will be able to take him out. And you know, KYXY gonna continue to farm mid lane. The rest of Mineski continue to farm. So they will end up getting this tower when all is said and done. But Mineski very happy with where they're at. Another quad stack now for Raging Potato to farm up, and he is just stupid farmed at this point with the Yasha, H-Dom, and Power Tread. Soon to be a Manta. 16 minutes in.
It's getting right now. But back to the Mushi game, Queen of Pain. One of the main reasons this hero is not that valuable is because when he hits this like mid game, and he goes for Orchid, for example, and he blinks in the team fight, and then he gets stunned and bursted instantly. This is one of the biggest problems this hero has. And generally I don't really like Orchid on Pop because it makes it easier for the opponents to burst him. He can have more potential to kill people, solo kill people, but this is where Mushi could start feeding if he's not very careful and his team doesn't back him up properly. Yeah. So we're gonna see if that will happen or if he will prevail.
Yeah, so a lot of that going to depend on the Disruptor and the Kunkka, you know, with the X and all the Disruptor's toolkit. Speaking of the X, top lane, it's going to find Illogic.
Another core kill.
Yeah, very... And this feels like, you know, this gap is even wider at this point in the game than it was in Game 1. Almost 6k net worth lead now for the Radiant side. Looking at approaching 5k in the way of experience as well. Mushi, mid lane, has an arcane rune, so felt pretty safe. Orchid's up. The Weaver. KYX Guardian jump through. Misses the Impale, though. Oh, they will catch the Weaver with the X, however, and he's more than likely going to die as he's already used Time Lapse. They missed the combo, but yeah, Time Lapse down. Still an easy kill on this Weaver. Trying to trade bottom lane is Rams, but already Raging Potato, he's dealt with top lane tower. He's going to TP down to bottom lane to deal with the tier 2 defense and easily able to thwart the attempt of the dire side here.
Yeah, Blink on center now. It's time to shine if you want to get some control of this mid game and not start giving away everything. But this bench is going Maelstrom actually. Pretty interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Or not in a pro game at least, I think. So I want to see how much impact this has. I am a big fan of Shadowblade bench personally, and I think that's what you should go if you want to have impact. But this seems interesting. I'm pretty sure this guy's very dead though.
Yeah, Orchid it up. Even the Static Storm there to keep his supports from being able to help. And now jump forward from Mushi, glimpse back as well. They're going to get a second one off the back of this. Courier inbound. Right click from the Vendetta Ogre. Tanky is all hell, but is going to end up dropping in both kills going towards Mushi, who's now on a monster kill streak. Avil trying to push in bottom lane, but he's just a lowly Centaur who's half HP. Mushi going to blink forward. He has a Sonic Wave. Soulburn should finish him off at the very least. Yeah. Yeah. Soulburn does finish him off in the fountain.
I thought he was gonna survive after he right-clicked the creep, so I was like, oh my god, did he just miss the kill?
Style points from Mushi, just getting extra farm on the back. And he is gonna find himself a godlike streak at this point in the game. 9-0-1 with that Orchid, so kind of, as you mentioned, the risky window for him where he goes for that big first item, but still not the tankiest hero, but just has had the right support and has found the right openings here, so already has that Ogre Club, whether it's into the Ags or the BKB. Mushi's definitely feeling very good about his stance in this game.
Yeah. Can you see stats or graphs?
Yep.
There's no buttons for me. I don't have any graph buttons.
RIP. I don't know where the buttons are anymore, honestly. Where do they...
Yeah, so I'm like, I want to see what the total net worth lead is, but I don't know if I have it binded to something.
10k.
I don't want to press anything. I'm still afraid. So I guess I'll just. You can see that Luna, and Copper are very far ahead at least.
Yeah, it's 10k overall in the favor of the Radiant. So 20 minutes in, you're talking 500 net worth lead gained per minute by the Radiant side at this point.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, and they have done nothing thus far with this Centaur Blink. So, you generally go one of two routes. You either kind of tank up a bit on the Centaur, rely on your supporting cast and your Stampede to help you get into the fray, or you go for this initiation. And, if you do go for the latter, you need to get something done with it in order to make it worth it. But they're going to smoke behind Raging Potato. He's got a DD rune. He's got a Manta style at this point. Mushi has a BKB. These two heroes are very difficult to kill off, even with this initiation tool now finally picked up by EVOS. So looks like it's going to be high ground for them where they finally look to find an opening. Top lane, Carapace onto Lysu. They're going to stampede in though. Shrine is down. Static Storm comes through. Bolt connects onto 2. They're going to find some easy return kills. Avil gets killed off. Orchid onto the Venge as well. Sonic Wave is there. And it won't even be able to X him back. Anything but a corpse there. Double kill going the way of Raging Potato. They get the tier 2 before joining that fight top lane. And everything just falling apart for EVOS, not only in this game, but in the tournament in general. And these are their lives on the line. I mean, Rams has found finally a little bit of space, finds himself, 4th overall on net worth, but still not even half the net worth of the Luna, his counterpart.
Yeah, and they're stacking a ton for Luna as well, so she's getting an insane boost in gold and experience as well. While Jugger has nothing alike, and Bench is also very, very far down in the list now. And I mean, she's 30 net worth, but it's a very big gap to open Luna.
Gem as well, picked up by KYXY, which is one of the tools that you look at for really widening the gap once you have a lead. And he's got himself a Midas, so can definitely afford to do so. Raging Potato up towards this mid lane, nearing a butterfly at this point in the game. as the courier waiting over at the side shop. And we'll just look to complete up that farm. Yeah, stacking a bit of a lost art though, but the Radiant, they've been able to stack, you know, 8 or 9 ancient camps now.
Yeah, I mean,
for this Luna.
And Dominator is a lost item, that's why.
That's true too.
And he went it. So, but it's been paying off for sure. Like even if this was a no stats item in this game, this was worth it. And finally they're going into Roach. I was wondering how long that would take.
Butterfly picked up by Raging Potato. You know, you dodge even 1 or 2 right clicks in the Omni Slash and definitely bodes well for you in the fight. But just a good Luna item in general. I mean, the bulk of damage, at least at this phase in the game, gonna be some magic, but with the Vengeful Spirit, they're definitely gonna rely on physical damage to bring down anyone on this high ground.
Yeah, this game is getting very scary. This Luna is getting too big. If they allow her to hit people, more or less, Jagger will die during a spin.
That's the current state of the team chat for EVOS. Guys, we can't allow Luna to hit people. We're in trouble.
That's more or less. I mean, they have some potential. You can make aggressive swap plays and burst people, so that you fight under your tier 4s, more or less. But it's not that easy. It's gonna be a lot harder, as well as you can X Luna. So when if you swap her your X, you know, she's gonna get back. So there's a lot of problems with this, but it's not over yet. But
on the high ground though, they do find the Weaver. They'll drop down a sentry. Both gonna fly out. X back is gonna catch the Weaver. He'll end up dropping Sonic Wave through 3 for Mushi. He'll jump forward, uses the BKB, probably not even necessary. They'll get all 3 kills, and every single hero, it feels, on a killing spree at least for the Radiant side, as their wave conveniently placed up near the Dire base in the mid lane, and they'll march towards that first lane of racks in this game too.
Yeah, this is gonna be extremely hard to go back. They don't have buybacks. I think they will take racks before bench is up actually.
Yeah,
Luna has insane damage. This is 300 now, and when the tier 3 falls, it's gonna be even worse.
Yeah, Manta style deployed.
Yeah, you're not defending this. This doesn't work anymore.
We'll see if they make one last defense here. They do have the Stampede still available, but just a rotation back over towards the top lane. Still an Aegis, still an X for Adam and for the Luna, but they'll just throw Raging Potato. Jump forward. They will try and go on the Kunkka. Orc it up onto the Centaur though. Now Adam, he throws out the boat. He will end up dying. Omni Slash doing decent work against Mushi. He's going to be forced to blink out, but meanwhile, Raging Potato on the backlines kills the Weaver and the Centaur. 3rd kill going to drop, none of which have buyback now for EVOS, and they could probably have pressed forward for the Jugger, but just going to continue to put some punishment into this mid lane. Eclipse falls out, and an instant GG before Static Storm even expires. And a good show of sportsmanship from Rams as well, who had a very rough series. Mineski clearly making it a priority to shut him down, not only in the games, but in the bans as well. And they were successful in doing so.
It seems like he was not comfortable on, at least the Jugger especially. I think the Shadow Fiend, he had a better game, but it was harder for him. While this game, he got very outplayed in the mid lane. Against, I think Cop is a good hero in mid lane, but it's not that good. I guess that you get that destroyed. I think Mushi played insanely well, and Rams probably wasn't that comfortable with the hero.
Yeah, a bit of a case of comfort versus discomfort for Mushi versus Rams there. But Mineski going to go into this grand final series coming up next against Faceless with some good momentum coming off this game too, and you know, essentially what was a stomp here with a 25-minute victory. So MRP.Kefka going to be back, guys, here on Beyond the Summit 2 Manila Masters SEA qualifiers. Winner of the next series, which is a best of 3 grand final, is going to be joining, you know, the likes of Secret, EG, NP, everyone else attending. I don't know if I can call NP tier 1 anymore. I guess that remains to be seen, but everyone else attending the Manila Master LAN finals. So grand finals coming up next. Hype, guys, thanks for joining us here on Beyond the Summit 2 MRP.Kefka. We'll be back shortly for the next series.